All right, so for section F, you guys are going to be dealing with the special right triangles. There's two. Okay, so there's the 45, 45, 90, and the other one's the 30, 60, 90. Okay, you need to know the relationship between the different sides for each special right triangle. Okay, so let's quickly look at number 23. For number 23, they immediately gave us this 45 right here. So that tells us that, okay, if this part is 45, then this part is also has to be 45 because of the triangle sum theorem. Okay, what's nice about the 45, 45, 90 special right triangle is directly opposite the 45 degrees. Well, it's going to be congruent to the other opposite side of the other 45 degrees. Okay, so in number 23, x and y are exactly the same. Okay, but we need to understand, hey, what the heck is x and y. Okay, so for the 45, 45, 90, the relationship is leg is equal to x, and our hypotenuse is equal to x rad 2. Okay, so let's quickly label our sides before we continue. So this x is my leg, and this y is also a leg. They're exactly the same. Okay, and this 22, because it's directly opposite that 90 degrees, we would say that's my hypotenuse. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug in what we know. So our hypotenuse is 22, and we don't necessarily know what x or y is. Okay, so in order to find what the heck x is, we just need to isolate what is already given to us. In this case, it's only 22. Okay, so we take x rad 2 equal 22, and we divide both sides by rad 22. Okay, that eliminates that rad 2 on the left side, but on the right side we have an issue. Okay, the issue here is that we have a radical in the bottom. We cannot have radicals in the bottom. It's very similar to how in English class, if you started a sentence with a lowercase letter, your English teacher is going to say, no, that's improper. That's not right at all. Okay, so right here, math is a language. Okay, this rad 2 in the denominator, that is improper notation. You do not want to end your answer with that. Okay, so we have to do what we call, we have to rationalize this. Okay, and it's very easy to rationalize. All we have to do is take that radical on the bottom, and we multiply the top and the bottom by whatever we have in the denominator. Okay, in this case we have rad 2, so we multiply the top and the bottom by rad 2. Okay, so we have 22 rad 2 on the top, and then on the bottom, okay, so when we multiply two radicals, okay, they go under one roof. Okay, so now we have 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Well, we all know that the square root of 4 is just 2. So once you do enough of this, you'll realize, wait, the radicals in the denominator just go away. That's the whole point of rationalizing your answer. Okay, so we now have 22 rad 2 over 2. Well, 22 divided by 2 is just 11. So now we have 11 rad 2. And this right here is equal to both my x and my y. So 11 rad 2 is my answer. So let me just box this. All right, let's move on to the next one. So that first question is 45, 45, 90, special right triangle. And then number 24 looks like we have 30 degrees here, we have 90 degrees, and then this one right here has to be 60. So in this case, this is a 30, 60, 90 right triangle, okay? So there's a saying that you need to know for 30, 60, 90, and it makes it so much easier. The saying is, superheroes live 125 radical years. So superheroes live 123 radical years. Let me just move this over to there. Years. Okay, so this is where we use the saying. The superheroes live 123 radical years. Okay, so S, super, H, heroes, L, live, 123 radical years. Okay, so that's why we have that saying. So we can know what the relationship is for a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. Okay, so the S stands for short leg. Okay, the short leg in this case is always going to be opposite the 30 degrees. So this 4 is my short leg. Okay, my hypotenuse, we all know, is directly opposite the 90 degrees, and then the long leg, or my L, is going to be directly opposite that 60 degrees. Okay. All right, so now that I have the relationship written down and I have my sides labeled, I can go ahead and solve now, okay? And so let's see, we have S is equal to 4, okay? H is equal to X, and then we have L is equal to Y. All right, so at first you might be like, wait, can't I use the Pythagorean theorem? Yeah, you can, but we have a lot of things missing here and we can't use the Pythagorean theorem. But if you can quickly see, the only thing that they gave us is this 4, okay? We can use that to find everything else. The shorter leg, S, is going to be half of what the hypotenuse is. And we have what X is, we just double it. So that 4 becomes 2 times 4, gives us 8, okay? And then because we know what X is, we can just plug it into the long leg, okay? So our X rad 3 becomes 8 rad 3, okay? So that's my X and Y. I didn't do very much math. And that's the whole goal of these special right triangles. These special right triangles are shortcuts for you guys, okay? So X and Y are right here. So X equals 8, and then Y equals X rad 3, okay? All right, let's move on to the next one. So for this one, number 25, it's a combination of both the 30, 60, 90 right triangle and 45, 45, 90 special right triangle. So right here on the left is my 45, 45, 90. And on the right, we have the 30, 60, 90 special right triangle. Okay, so let's start off with the triangle that we know has the most stuff filled in. Well, I don't think they gave us very much on the left side. So let's start on the right side because they at least gave us the hypotenuse, 24, okay? Cool. So let's go ahead and use our little saying, superheroes live 123 radical years, okay? So superheroes live, okay, 100, so 1x, 20, 2x, 3 radical years, okay? So now that we have that all listed out, we can go ahead and start labeling our sides. We know 24 is my hypotenuse, okay? And then directly opposite this 60, well, that would have to be my long leg, okay? And then directly opposite this 30 is going to be my short leg, okay? So now I have everything I need, right? So we don't necessarily know what my short leg is, so I'm just going to leave it blank. But we do know the hypotenuse is 24. And then our long leg, again, we don't know, but they labeled it as Z. So we're going to just mark it as Z. All right. So in this case, we only know that 24 is this 2x. Well, in order to find x, we just divide 24 by 2, okay? So 24 divided by 2 is going to be 12, okay? So that gives us 12 here, but that doesn't give us what z is. Well, we can use x equals 12 to find z. So z is just going to be x rad 3, so we know x is 12, so it'll be 12 rad 3, okay? So that's my first answer. And then for the x and the y, we can use that 12 that we found earlier, okay? So if this side right here is 12, this one right here is 12, okay? Well, that would mean that this side and this side right here, they would have to be the same. So y is also 12, okay? The reason being is because the opposite side of this 45 is this 12. Well, this opposite side is also 45. So because in a 45, 45, 90 triangle, we have two sides that are congruent, and then we have the hypotenuse. So that's why y is equal to 12. Okay, so now we just need to find the hypotenuse. Okay, so let's go ahead and write down the relationship for 45, 45. So this is 45, 45, 90. And this one right here on top, that one is 30, 60, 90 triangle. Okay. All right, so if L, or my legs, is x, and then my hypotenuse is equal to x rad 2. And an easy way to remember the 45, 45, 90 is just know how many 45s do we have here? Well, there's 2, so that's why we have that 2 there, okay? All right, so we were given that one of the legs is 12, okay? So this is 12. It's easy to find my hypotenuse. My hypotenuse is my x value, and we just plug in x equals 12. So 12 rad 2 will give me my x value, okay? And that's my answer for number 25. So x equals 12 rad 2, y equals 12, and then z equals 12 rad 3, okay? And then we're on our last one, number 26, okay? So this one, you're expected to be able to draw that diagram. So a construction worker needs to place a ladder against a 10-foot wall. So let's just go ahead and make that diagram. So here's 10 foot, creating a 30-degree with the ground to ensure stability. Okay, here's the ladder that we're ultimately trying to find what it is. And it's telling us, hey, this thing right here, that's 30 degrees. Okay, how long does the ladder need to be to reach the top of the wall? Well, we can go ahead and say it makes a 90 degree if it's the ground, right? And there's a wall, that's 90 degrees. Well, if this is 30 right here, well, this part right here would have to be 60 degrees because the triangle sum theorem, okay? 30 plus 90 is 120. You take 180 minus 120, we got 60. Okay, so if you look at this closely, we have to use 30, 60, 90. So 30, 60, 90 triangle. So we're going to have to use that superheroes live 123 radical years again. So superheroes live, okay, 100. So x, 20, 2x, 3. So rad 3 radical years, okay. All right, so before I start, doing anything, I gotta start labeling. So my hypotenuse, I know, is that x, okay? And it looks like this 10 is associated with this 30, and we know that 30 is smaller than the 60, so that's gonna be my shorter leg, okay? We don't really care what this is right here, my longer leg. What I really care is the hypotenuse, okay? So, let's see. H is equal to that x that we're missing, okay? And then we know that the shorter leg is going to be 10. And then immediately you should be like, oh wait, this is easy. All I have to do is just get this 10 and multiply it by 2 to get my x value, which is the length of that ladder, okay? And that's the goal of the special right triangles, okay? Shortcut. So in order to find my x value, or my missing length, I just take 2, and we know x is 10, so 2 times 10 equals 20. Okay, so that means that whatever that ladder needs to be, it hopefully is, let's see, this is in feet, so the ladder has to be 20 feet. Okay, so just to recap, super important that you guys know the difference between the two special right triangles. The first one is 45, 45, 90, and the leg is equal to x, and the hypotenuse is equal to x rad 2, okay? And then the second type of special right triangle is the 30, 60, 90. A little saying to help you understand that relationship is superheroes live 123 radical years, okay? So that is section F.